Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, you like some fresh, delicious Bible study? I know a place. It's called the Bible Bistro, Daily Dose Radio. Oh, come on in. Here it is right here. Let's sit down together. We've got it all lined up for us, 19 and 20 in Psalm 9. Get out your Bibles and let's read together. Today my translation's not too chunky, so we'll see what we get. Rise up, O Lord, let not man prevail. Judge the nations who are before you. O Lord, appoint terror for them, that the nations may know that they are men. Have you noticed something here? How often the word nation pops up in the second half of this psalm? We've had it here in verse 20. We had it there in verse 19. We had it again in verse 17. We had it, in verse 15. So this idea of these nations, why do the nations rage? Why do the peoples imagine a vain thing against the Lord and against his anointed? Well, the wickedness of men is the problem. And so the Lord is being called on here. This is part of the prayer. Rise up, O Lord. Let not man prevail. Because sometimes men prevail. Sometimes wickedness has its day. You know that old saying, well, maybe an old saying in America, may not be anywhere else, but there's an old saying here, every dog has his day. It means at least once something good's going to happen, no matter who you are. So every dog can have his day. The worst of men, the best of men. So the prayer is, let not man prevail. But here I think it's in more of an eternal sense, because we've talked about Sheol. You know, the Lord's going to judge these wicked and turn them into Sheol. Their final destination is the place of hell. Now, he says, rise up, O Lord, let not man prevail. That is, I think, forever. Judge the nations who are before you. And by the way, what nations are before him? All of them. From the smallest nation to the largest nation, geographically, politically, in economic power, in people resources, in natural resources, from the smallest to the greatest. All nations are before him. And the prayer is, don't let man prevail. Judge these nations that are before you, and he will. Believe me, he's done it in the past. He's going to do it again in the future. Every nation that we see now on the globe is not going to be here forever. These divisions that we call boundaries, they're going to melt and fade, and someone else is going to come along and take their place. No, the Lord will judge, and he will judge eternally. He will judge finally. He also judges temporally. Verse 20, O Lord, appoint terror for them, that the nations may know that they are men. The idea of terror goes hand in hand. Now, you might not like this, but it's true. It goes hand in hand with Sheol. So let the wicked return or be turned into Sheol. Appoint terror for them. You see, that's the judgment of God for the wicked. Terror is coming. It's out there, and God will execute it against those who rebel against him and against his anointed. He laughs at them, Psalm 2. Now we have, O Lord, appoint terror for them, that the nations may know that they are men. Now, a lot of your translations are going to have that the nations may know that they are but men, or that they are only men. To remember that we are only men is a good thing, because that puts us in right standing with God. It allows us to see him for who he is, and we for who we are. We're not God. We will never be God. We are a created creature. We are a creature. God has made us from the dust of the ground and breathed into us the breath of life. He called us Adam in the day he made us. And so it's good for us to remember that we are but men. But if we don't, guess what? The Lord will appoint a day when the terrors will surround, and then you'll be reminded that you're only a man. And then we have at the end, Selah. Join me again next week. We're going to look at Psalm 10 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.